my parents, when I went to cover conflict and war, you know, they weren't pleased. They weren't so happy. I have like plenty of friends who do the same kind of work whose parents are just like, you know, why not be a dentist? And my parents are not like that. They have done journalism. They understand its purpose. They understand my drive to do it. But I think they'd be much happier if I covered, you know, sports or, you know, real estate. But what can you do? We knew we wanted to do something in and around the Middle East. We were putting out a big magazine article for the New York Times Magazine called Fractured Lands, and it was about the Arab Spring and how it came to be and the repercussions it had. The editors of the magazine came up to me and they said, we want to do a virtual reality film that corresponds to this. What should we do? Libya was extremely dangerous. Syria is impossible. Yemen was impossible to get inside. All these countries are really complicated. So the one piece of the Middle East that was still kind of accessible and in the moment and in the news was Iraq. The question then became like, well, what do we do? What is the story in Iraq that will kind of progress this piece forward? And we did not know. My editors were really nervous and I was really nervous. Nobody kind of knew what it would look like in the end. And I landed in Baghdad and I went to the office. We have a bureau there and I met with the bureau manager and he said, hey, tomorrow they are gonna start the offensive on Fallujah. Do you wanna go? And it was like, perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll follow the offensive from start to finish. I'd covered wars in the past from different perspectives. I went to Syria and I covered the fight there. I covered the fight in Libya. Each of these places I kind of kept my distance from the front. I think that the Fallujah was the first time I had gone into direct combat. And going into it with this unruly new piece of technology was, you know, just as kind of complicated as understanding how to do combat alone. So it was a challenge. In the fight for Fallujah in 2016, there was something like 12 or 13 different fighting groups that were doing the fighting against ISIS to push in, and the same with Mosul recently. So there was a lot of kind of politics that surrounded all of this fight, but on the ground, the politics aren't there. On the ground, these are just young kids, 17, 18, 19-year-old guys whose phones are filled with pictures, BMWs and half-naked women, as with any like 18-year-old punk kids around the world. And they're the ones doing the fighting. They're the ones doing the dying. So what was most amazing to me was to meet these guys, to live with them and get to know what the fighting looks like on the ground and how that is so completely different from a lot of the ways that we perceive this war. I am a white American guy that gets to go to Iraq with a pocket full of money, with all the resources of an international corporation in the New York Times, go to these places and go to these situations that are horrible and painful, and then I get to leave. And I get to be away from them and think about them from a distance. And what's left behind is all the people there that can't, and all the people there that are stuck in these situations and in these painful places, and their lives are embedded in these wars and in these kind of conflicts. Covering war is intense, and you know, experiencing these things, they make marks on you and they make marks on your psyche. My favorite kind of work and my favorite kind of thing is being in a place when something is happening, watching it unfold through my camera, and nobody notices that I'm there. If you can do that and use that footage and use that kind of, these moments to kind of show other people, and then the people inside these moments can appreciate it, and the people outside these moments can learn something from it, that to me is the perfect mixture of the work. Understanding that fight, understanding how it works, understanding what it does, the consequences of it, is important to slowing it, to stopping people from fighting, from preventing people from making the same mistakes of the past. It's essential for having societies progress forward.